Let me welcome you to the Smokebox. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.
Welcome to another edition of the BREALTV Smokebox. I'm here with the legendary Kid Frost.
Chicano, and I'm brown and proud. Want this chingazo, Simona, so let's get down. Sitting there wondering what's happening, que pasa? Yeah, this is for the raza.
One of my friends for a long time. We go way the fuck back, like some, 25, 27 years, some shit like that. It's good to have you. And I gotta say, let's just blaze off right quick.
Here we go. I don't know what he gave me, but I know it's bomb.
That's the Oracle cookies right there. Or
Oracle cookies.
Actually, yeah, I think it's the Oracle cookies. We're blazing them on funky field tips right here. As you could see, it's only right. Now, I gotta start off by saying this, because a lot of people might not know this. I used to roll with Frost way back in the day.
Yeah, we've done this in the Cadillac before.
We've done this in caddies way back, when we were young bucks, and just before Cypress Hill came out. I used to hang with Frost Tough, and I have to say this as a witness. He's always been a connoisseur of the finest green.
Thank you, B. Coming from you and Dr. Greenthumb, man, that's a compliment.
No, that's the realest shit, because we used to have chief sessions all the time, and it was always good green weed, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And, you smoked like a champion.
We searched the city and found the best.
Yeah.
The best we could always find.
Isn't it a trip how it's changed in that regard now, where before you had to call 3, 4, 5, 6 motherfuckers before you found some actual good green shit.
Yeah.
And now you can, all the good shit is at every dispensary.
Yeah, it's prevalent now everywhere. You can find it anywhere. Everybody got it. But you always got that fire, man. This is some fire, boy.
Well, we stay with the fire and shit, but it's just a trip how much more attainable it is these days, than it used to be back when we were fucking scrambling for some good green, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I gotta say the other thing too was we're in the caddy, we're in the Brougham. We used to do this like nothing back in the day, but back in the day it was like the car show circuit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of times we would go to, do the car show circuits and shit like that, and fucking, you always rep that side of the culture tough. You know what I mean? How do you feel like it's evolved now into what, because still the lowrider culture is still riding hard.
I think, it's riding hard, and not only that, man, it's evolved into a big money corporation.
Right.
Man, a conglomerate to where these lowriders now, you're seeing these cars. When we were doing it, and these cars were maybe the most expensive ones, or maybe 20 grand.
The customizing of the cars, yeah.
And now these cars are going into 100 grand, 150 grand, 200 grand. And you're seeing these cars, every year they're adding something else on their car, adding something new to the car.
Always updating.
It's lowriding. It's just growing now. And you see the different parts of the world are doing it so big. Japan. I think now Korea's starting to in South Korea, they're starting to push lowriders that way. They're starting to push them in the Philippines, and of course, everybody's starting to do it. Europeans now are starting to want to low ride.
True that.
So I think we're gonna run out of Chevys pretty soon, but
yeah,
man,
there's only so many, right?
Yeah, there's only so many left.
Hell yeah, but it's good to see that they still are carrying it on and making it, evolve, like the way they customize the cars, they chrome the engine, they chrome the undercarriage, they knock the interior, and get the fucking candy paints and shit like that. But the new technology on some of the cars are pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I got to give it up to these new riders of these days.
I went out to Japan. I was out there for a month with them, doing car shows out there and low riding with them, and even some of their technology that they're doing on the 64s and all that, with the digital gas readouts and all that, and the pop on the doors now are all electric key entries on the Impalas and stuff.
Hell yeah. Sick shit.
And they're reproducing and manufacturing
digital
parts.
dashes,
Yeah,
electric, electric
seen all that
windows,
shit
tilt
too?
steering wheel,
Yeah.
disc brakes.
all that
that
disc
shit.
brakes on them Impalas, man. So we definitely, man, have evolved into a real, into a stature to where I think that we have to just really just keep everything going together, man. Like I think that's what happened too, is that the cars kept jumping up, and it's like, man, you need to keep up with the whole scene.
With the whole scene.
Yeah, with
As-
that whole lowrider scene.
As it evolves, you got to kind of evolve with it, find
Yeah,
ideas and
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like music, and speaking of the music, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if y'all don't know, this is, one of the pioneers of the Latino rap. That whole get down was, responsible by this man and one other. And these two guys pioneered this shit, which enabled a lot of us Latino hip hoppers to get in the game and make a lane for ourselves, which there was no lanes before you guys did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like some Lewis and Clark shit.
Yeah.
Some pioneering shit.
And like, how do you feel about like the cats that are out there right now? Who's like your favorite, hip hop cat or rapper out there, of the Latin culture that impresses you right now?
Man, I really don't, like, in the new ones, I really don't know all the new names and cats, man. I'm still so stuck in 1990, man, and so far behind in old school hip hop, man. I don't know the names, man. And
Right.
I just shout outs to you, man. I stopped at probably my boy Bash, really.
Baby Bash, he's still out there
Yeah.
doing his thing.
That's what I'm saying, man. At that era of that time, man, I probably stopped listening to that hip hop, man, and went back to. I went through some crazy phases, man, and then I started going backwards, man, and I went from oldies to classic rock to rock to. Started listening to everything, man, and now I'm back to listening to old school hip hop, man. That BDP and the old school NWA and that shit we used to roll around.
Oh
to
yeah,
when we were rolling.
We were rolling like to all kinds of different shit. We'd roll
Remember, B?
to funk shit. We'd roll around to oldies. We'd roll around to fucking to some hip hop shit, of course, and we'd even roll to some metal.
Metal. We even rolled Chalino Sanchez,
Yeah,
all that
shit.
shit.
In the Jeep.
And hump. No,
And- yeah.
We didn't roll around soft.
That's-
We roll around big.
True this. Look, this dude right here, he had this Jeep that was customized, custom paint job on 20s before people were rolling 20s like that. And he had the humps in this fight. It's the type of humps that, like, when it rolls by, it does two things. It rattles the windows of other cars and houses and buildings, and it sets off alarms. Because back in the day, not every car had an alarm. If you had an alarm, that shit would set off an alarm like that, man. That shit was
Especially in the
crazy.
hood, because you roll in the hood, everybody got an alarm in their car, so you just hear, bow, bow, bow. We hit off car after car
That
after
would be
car.
the funniest shit.
And then God, like, who did that shit? God, you gotta hear it.
Yeah.
La Raza had humps too,
Yeah,
man.
that
We
shit
had
was-
that bass and that shit too, man. We were rolling around with some crazy ass shit.
Hell yeah.
That's good times, B.
So lately,
Man, fire. Ooh.
pretty much, you pretty much were raised in California, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you moved around a lot as a kid because you were an
Yes.
Army kid,
Yes.
right? From
Yeah.
base to base, and then you were in the Army yourself,
Yeah.
and you did all that shit. But for sure, you represent Cali because you were raised out here.
Yes.
After all that stuff,
Yeah.
and
always came back. I mean,
you always came
and
back.
all my family lived in LA, and every summer my dad would send me on a IHOP, which is a military plane, like usually a C-130 from the military base, and they would fly me in to like this Pedro. Back then it was Fort MacArthur. I was a kid. They shut that base down now, but when we would fly in and then fly into LAX, and then my grandparents would pick me up, or my aunt would pick me up. So every summer, and then I would stay in LA and then come back to the military base. I went to military academy, Roswell Military Academy, Mayfield Military Academy. I went to different military schools. different stuff, man.
all over the fucking place.
Yeah, Panama, Guam.
You think that helped you with the touring? Like, because some people, you know, when they get into this shit, you know, they have these crazy expectations on what it is, but when you have to go on a tour for promo or whatever, you know, back in those days, because you had to do a bunch of shit.
That shit was essential beat for everything.
Because some people get homesick and they don't know how to deal with
Not
being
only
away
that,
from home.
Like,
You know
let's go back to even living on a military base.
Whole
When you
different deal.
When you live on a military base, all they teach you is that your color is green. Every person that's in there, that's the color of the military uniform.
Right, your color's good.
That's where I learned Parliament Funkadelic, because I had a homie that was from Brooklyn, New York. We played Little League Baseball. We were on a military base playing ball. And he would go, like, I went to LA, he went to Brooklyn.
Right.
But me and him were real tight. His name was Sloan. And every time that he came back, he had hip hop. I heard rap and stuff way before I heard Rapper's Delight. Not way before. I mean, it came a little bit after. But I heard a kid rapping way before
You heard that
the
song.
record, way before
Yeah.
that song came out, because I lived on a military base with kids all over the world, and kids were already doing that in the streets, kind of like with b-boying and breaking. That's where
Yeah.
I first seen like dancing, first seen like the locking and the breaking. We were all doing that back then. If y'all remember me, even in that time, even before that, we were popping with Boogaloo Shrimp and doing all
At
that
the
shit.
Radiotron over
Yeah,
there.
all that shit. That's how I first started rapping. That's how I met Ice-T and first started even getting down.
Yeah.
I didn't even start as Frost back then at the Radiotron in LA. People that really know, they were calling me Kid Gemini, and then
Because you're a Gemini.
yeah, because I was a Gemini, and then after that I switched up. Then I met Ice-T, and then before the Ice was like the Frost, and then it just went out thing, and then I turned to Kid Frost, like bam, just like that.
And I remember because y'all put records out like almost back to back.
Yeah, we were on the same label actually, Electro Beat.
Yeah.
On the same label, and we got to I got to design actually the logo and shit for the label. That was pretty dope.
Hell yeah. Crazy how the game evolves. Word up.
Shit, I'm 53 years old, man, and I'm still living, still alive. I've been through some crazy shit, but health issue wise, man, I'm still here, man. If it wasn't for this right here, man, this cannabis right now as curing properties and medicines in it, man, even the stronger stuff like the CBDs with the psychoactive stuff that can go in and actually cure cancer properties in your body. This is a serious part of it, man.
Which is what you've been dealing with.
Yeah, that's what I've been dealing with right now. So I mean, I've been like on this crazy regime, but I'm telling you, man, cannabis I'm totally for it, man, and totally for I mean, if it wasn't for this, with the way that I went through my gallbladder getting removed, I wouldn't have no appetite, no hunger, and all that, man. Even smoking this right now, I'm about to go get me a bomb ass caldo somewhere.
And they were trying to give you like over the counter fucking pills to deal with.
Oh man,
your
at
shit.
one time, they had me on almost 210 pills a week, day and night, just taking all these crazy.
And what we were saying, like, you know, before we got into the box, that shit, you know, taking too many of those over the counter pills, you know, it's a suppressive, but it's creating problems in other areas.
Oh, your liver and your kidneys,
Yeah.
man. They had to give me a pill to protect
From
all
that.
the pills.
Yeah.
Like, here's a pill now to protect all
the
those
side
pills.
effects.
Yeah, man. And I was like, nah, this is where it's too much, bro. And then I'm walking around all groggy, falling out, man, having bad like spells with the diabetes and the blood. Man, I just couldn't do it no more.
So you feel like the cannabis is the shit that
Cannabis. I mean, there's a lot of part of the regime of holistic training, man, but definitely cannabis is part of it, man. It's eating proper, man, making sure that you're getting your proper sleep. That's definitely important, man. You gotta make sure you get 8 hours of sleep, man, somehow. If you figure out a regime to figure out to get that every day, you're gonna add years to your thing, man. The sad thing about it is that I'm going through the VA hospital, through the military hospital now, and I'm 53, and they're like, no, you're not. We're gonna tell you your real age now, from your organs being worn out, all this wear and tear, the late nights of us being in the studio, partying, working, doing our thing, man. Remember when we were young, we weren't the same as we are now, man. You know, we slowed down. I mean, a lot. And it's not even the fact that you slowed down a lot. I think you just get older and wiser, and think of the things that we went out there and put our neck out into shit. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
we're partying crazy back then.
Yeah, for real, man. So, man, like I went through the VA hospital shit and went through all that regime of that whole thing, trying to get put back together. And they tell me, man, you're the age of a 61-year-old man, man. You're 61.3 years old now. You're internally. So, man, that makes you think, like, wait, hold up now.
You gotta change the get down.
Yeah, even more now.
Yeah.
So it's like every day. But, man, if you see, man, I mean, you remember, man, I was a big old belly, big fat boy rolling around. After we would party and we ate like kings everywhere, right? We would go have big ass feasts and meals. If I wasn't cooking it or barbecuing some shit or we weren't doing something, we were eating big everywhere, man. So, I mean, that eventually, I mean, it just took its toll, man, of just eating too good and living too good and not taking care of yourself and not taking care of your health, man. You gotta really be on your regime, man. We're getting older, man.
Gotta do it.
We ain't young.
What's your favorite strain you like to smoke?
Man, I like I've been liking the Gorilla Glue.
The Gorilla Glue is very good. It's got a lot of flavor. Very sweet.
Yeah. I like this now, man. This is some fire.
That's some fire right there. You know,
Woo.
I want to say this before we go, right? You know, when we came out, when Cypress Hill came out, you know, a lot of people don't know that before we came out, we used to do, you know, come do like shows with Frost and a couple other people. This guy right here would bring us on stage to do, you know, our songs before they came out, you know, and a lot of fans got hip to us because this guy showed them the fucking way to us.
I knew,
in the early
man.
stages.
I knew
So
they were stars,
I
man.
want to thank you for that, because I
Man,
never
I
got
knew,
to thank
though.
you for that. You
And
know,
I knew B, you guys were gonna blow up from the first time, even with Skate Master Tate over there at the house.
rest
man.
in peace, Skate
Yeah.
Master Tate.
Yep, Taters, man, rest in peace, homie. And man, he got to hang out with my little son Max
Right on,
right
man.
before he passed. Like about hanging out with my little son Max is the youngest member in Castle,
Yeah.
and so he skates, and they were down there at the skate event, and man, beautiful, man, that he got to hang out with Taters, man. But I remember, man, when you were writing the album over there, right there behind Johnny Rockets, man,
Behind Johnny
and
Rock on Martell.
it was like the pit stop because we'd be running around LA and then go stop at Taters, man,
To
and
get some
B would-
good weed too.
And B would be in there working on the album, working on the record. Listen to this, Frost. Listen to this, Frost. And then, man, and I even knew, man, and even showed me the love because they threw my name with Booyah, man. Kid Frost got my back. Booyah in the casa, straight up, dog, on the Cypress,
That's
man.
what's up.
Never forget that shit, dog.
Word
You know what
up.
I mean?
This has been
I
another
love.
Smokebox, man. Look up my man right here in case you don't know about him. A lot of history and shit. Kid Frost in the Smokebox. Leave comments, subscribe to the channel, and we are the fuck up out of here.
Let me welcome you to the smoke box. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.